Finding a good crew. It's like assembling the Avengers. You want the best people in the best fields working together and collaborating to help bring your film to life. And at the end of the day, it's really a team sport. Your crew is going to be pivotal in bringing this to life. You start off, it's like your baby, this is like your idea. But once you start bringing other people involved, you got to understand that this is now like our film. So how do you find the right people that you can work with and you know that you guys are on the same page? Because filmmaking can be pretty tough. There can be some pretty stressful moments on set. So you got to know that everybody is there for the picture, there for the right reasons. And you can work together and you can work through problems, you can work through the stress in order to get it done. Because it's not going to be perfect, but you want to enjoy the ride. A director is the person with the vision for the film. Everyone's going to be coming to this person to really help shape what the film is going to look and feel like. They're really steering the ship when it comes to the creative side of things. They got to understand what it is, what they're looking for, and just constantly make decisions. Is the light going to be red? Is it going to be blue? What is it? Director, you got to know that. If you're lucky enough to have assistant directors, then as a director, you want to be focused on just the storytelling, just the visuals, making the calls with the actors and really thinking about this story that you're trying to tell. Your first AD is going to be the person on set that's going to be helping you make this happen. They're assisting you with the timeline. So they're usually in charge of each shot, understanding how long you have for each shot. Let's say it's 10 minutes and they're going to be on your ass all day saying, hey, we got 2 minutes left. Hey, we got 1 minute left to get this done. Your second AD is assistant to the first AD. And really, this role can change, but essentially they're both there to help the director achieve the vision and really focus on the creativity and help with the logistical side of things as well to make it all happen and make it a smooth process. A producer is the person who's actually producing the film. So these guys are actually the one that is in charge of making this happen from a logistic point of view. If you can have a separation between your producer and your director, the director is able to really just focus on the creative parts of the film, and the producer is really thinking about the actual flow of the production, you know, the scheduling, the timing, the call sheets, how you guys going to actually make this happen. Sometimes you don't have that luxury and you're doing both. You're the producer and the director, but you got to kind of just split this in your brain to really think about, all right, creatively, this makes sense, but does it make sense logistically as well? You got to be able to make that call as a producer to just make sure things get done. The director of photography, aka the cinematographer, they are in charge of the actual picture of the film. They're in charge of the camera. They're really focused on trying to get the best image possible and really focusing on the image itself. So they're in charge of the lighting as well, the type of camera that they're going to use, the type of lenses. This can also be the director as well, or this can, you know, if it's just by yourself, you are the DP, you are the cinematographer. I feel like a lot of filmmakers end up being, but I think breaking this role apart and really understanding the difference between a director and then the cinematographer is going to be key. It's a very technical role. You really got to know your shit about cameras, lenses, lighting, how you're going to share your story visually through the camera. So understanding your camera, understanding all the specs is going to be key for a cinematographer. But yeah, like I said, if you're doing both, then you just got to know it. It's going to help you a lot in how to convey your message through the camera, through the lens, through the setup of the actual production. Camera department. So the cinematographer is the head of this department. And if you're lucky enough, then you might have an extra pair of hands or two, somebody operating the camera for you so you can actually focus on just the visuals. Or you might have an assistant coming on and helping you move the tripod around, helping you switch lenses. Once you get on bigger sets, you have a lot of equipment, a lot of very expensive equipment, so it doesn't hurt to have an extra pair of eyes on the gear and really helping you move things around. Lighting department. So again, if you are the gaffer, you are the head of lighting. So you gotta understand where your lights are placed, you know, having a plan before you get on set and why you're putting on these lights as well. Lighting is gonna be key for your cinematography. Understanding, you know, where the eye is moving because of your lighting. For example, here, we have the front light here. We got two lights on the side here, just to showcase me as a subject. So lighting is gonna be super important. Also colors of your lights too. But having someone that is designated to purely focus on your lighting is gonna be awesome for your project. Sound department. Sound, as I said earlier, is 50% of your film. So really getting clear audio is going to be key, especially if there's dialogue. You want to think about how or who is going to be the best person to capture good audio for you. A sound operator might have their own equipment, or they might look to hire extra equipment. But for us, for example, we have our lapels here. They might have a boom mic. If you don't know what a boom mic is, it's that guy that you always see holding that pole and with the fluffy dead cat at the end of it. That's your boom guy. Art department. When it comes to the art department, you're really thinking about your art director, the costumes, the props, the setup of the scene, hair and makeup, all these things. This is going to be key in really making it real for yourself, really building this world. All the little things that you might not think about, it's good to have an art director to be standing on set, thinking about what's going to be on the table. Is that realistic? Is that part of the story that we're trying to tell here? This is really world building that you're doing here. If you look at theater and you watch like some theater shows, I feel like that is a really good point of reference for building worlds and the costumes, the makeup, the hair, the set designs, the moving sets. Theater is a great place of reference if you're really looking for a great art department. So having someone there for continuity is also going to help, especially when it comes to syncing up your sound, syncing up your footage, and really making sure everything makes sense. When you're on set, it can be a bit hectic, it can be a bit full on. So having somebody there who's really thinking about the continuity of your filming, of your sound, is going to be key and crucial to having it make sense, especially when you get into post-production. You don't want to get into post-production and realize that you didn't record this audio or you forgot to film this. So they're there to really make sure everything's going to make sense. They've got your back. Runners. Runners is a type of sneaker that you wear. Runners are important. I feel like a lot of the time having runners can be overlooked, but having extra pair of hands here and there to maybe help lift something heavy or keeping an extra pair of eyes on the set is going to be key to helping your set run even smoother than it is. You never know what's going to happen. So having a few extra pair of hands to be there, moving gear and whatnot, is going to be super helpful. Don't overlook runners, and also being a runner on a set as well is a great way for people to get experience. If you don't want too heavy of a role, but you want to be around it, you want to get amongst it and really just learn. So a runner is a really great place for people to learn, but also a really important role for things to move even faster and smoother on your set. So for me, when I'm picking a crew, what works for me might not work for everyone else, but these are some of the things that I think about when I'm choosing my crew members. One is their personality. I think this is crucial because I like having an environment where people can work well together and they're collaborative and also just fun. So I think that's always key. Second to that is their skill. So how experienced are they in this role? Have they done it before? Do they have the style and type of look that I'm going for in terms of cinematography? Or do they have the sound quality that I'm looking for in terms of sound? Or do they have the production experience that I'm looking for when it comes to producer role? So that can be different for everyone, but for me personally, it's about finding the person who is best suited skill-wise for that role and experience-wise, and also budget-wise too for that role. That's going to be key. So those are probably the two main things that help me pick the right crew. I love working with people who love what they do because I find that their passion kind of rubs off on everyone else. So if you can find a crew of super passionate people, everyone's going to come together and create something great together.